Hey guys, it's Kugli again with another ROM review, and this time I've got the Omni ROM Oreo test build for the OnePlus 3, so stay tuned for that. So guys, the Omni ROM has already been ported to test builds of Oreo. Now, this is not new news. It has been out for test in Oreo for quite some time. The first version was on 19th of October. This version which I'm running is the 27 version, which is pretty good. It works out really well. So let's get to the about phone page and see. This is the 2710. So this is a homemade version. Kernel version is Omni Plus, so you have that. Asynchronous status is permissive. October 5 security patches, and it is on Oreo, so you get that. So yeah, that is it in the about phone page. Now it is different from Lineage and different from PA, and it has its own sources. It works pretty well, but it is not something comparable to something like AOSPA or AOSP or Lineage sources. So you do get a few extra stuff or different stuff, let's say. So let's get started with features now. First of all, in the Omni gears, here is all the features, that is the extra features, which is pretty cool to have. So in the Omni gears, you have style, where you have options for Omni wallpapers. You can customize what all wallpapers are here available. You can also check online for custom wallpapers, which will be available, which is really nice. Dark system UI style, so you can customize this to be dark. Not using any substrate theme. This is the inbuilt system UI style for this one, so that will work out. Custom header is available, and you can customize all of these options. Also, a status bar logo can be enabled, so that's really nice. Now, device features, you do have a few stuff. So off-screen gestures are available and are working this time, so that is really cool. Off-screen gestures were not working on previous versions of Oreo, at least for me, so this is really nice to have. So yeah, it works out really well. Apart from that, there are a few extra features also, like launch amp and O. So all of these options are available, and also you have a proximity check enabler. So if the proximity sensor is enabled, it won't draw out and drain your battery, so that's something there. Slider positions can also be customized, and slider is working. Swap the buttons of back and recent, so you can have that. There is an sRGB mode which will work out really well. Also a high brightness mode if you want to use that. Also a white color gamut mode can be enabled. These all change the colors a little bit here and there. Now I'm not a display expert to say that what works better. I really like the white color gamut mode, so that's just how it is. There are a few button options where you can customize the volume button. So you do have fast rotation, pressing volume button to wake up the device, music control, force media volume, so that's also there. Now there is also, you can enable the navigation buttons if you are using that one. Also power menu can be customized, and also with animations can be customized, which I really like. Also recent style can be customized, and also, well, in Omni fashion, you do have Omni Switch, which is going to work out really well. Now I personally don't use Omni Switch, but if you did, you can pretty much work it out, and you can have that working. In the button option, there's only two options available as of right now. Long pressing the recent action can be customized to any of these. That is only two options. Also, you have long press home button, and you can customize whatever you want. Now I would have liked to have double tap home button for sleep. That's something which I use all the time. Not available right now, but hey, I think it will be available soon enough. Now in the bar sense lock screen option, you do have double tap to sleep on the status bar. You can have that. Show IME notification. Network traffic indicator is available, and that is the full bevy of settings, so that does work out really well. Disable media wallpaper on the lock screen, so that's also available. Rotation can be customized from here, what all rotation you need. Battery LED settings can be customized from here, that is pretty nice. In the more options, you do have volume dialog header, so show stream name, so this shows media will see what is being customized rather than just a slider and an icon. So yeah, time and state is also available, where you can customize or where you can see or diagnose with which frequency your device is at most. Now since boot right now it is at this one, you can customize, you can just see what all awake frequencies are there. There is also dose settings, so where you can customize what time it takes to have the timeout functions of all of these dose settings. So that is a level of control which is not normally offered by a custom ROM, for at least not the dose settings, and I really appreciate that. You can customize that, and you can also have profiles if you want to customize that. Now I haven't tried it out because I personally don't know much about it. I don't want to finagle that and break the ROM, and yes, you can break most of the features like notifications and all if you are messing with this. So do keep in mind that only mess with it if you know what you're doing. There's also Matlog. If you are someone who wants to help with the development of this one, you can use Matlog to log your stuff and you can get that working, so that's also available. And that is it in the Omni gear settings. Now everything else is going to be the same as any other Oreo ROM, so you can customize that. There's nothing special going on here. Display options, you do have font size and font display options. Ambient display is working and I have been using that. There is a theme option which is pixel or stock. I like pixel. I didn't select pixel, but hey, it's available. Sound options are available. You can customize all of that. It does work out really well. One thing to note is that the vibration motors out of the box, it's very light. You might have to change the vibration motors from here, so you can change that. I put it to full because I want that. So also in the system UI tuner, you do have most of the stuff which you have seen with other Oreo ROMs, so you can enable always on in ambient display. Also status bar can be customized with any of these. Quick setting tiles can be customized with all of this. You can have a brightness adapter and also the brightness slider. If you don't want them, you can just disable them. So yeah, these are the settings which are available, and I have to say this is one of the more feature rich ROM right now available on Oreo, because there aren't many ROMs which are feature rich available. This will snag a good mark, but these are different settings than Validas. Validas did have more features, but those were different ones. This is different, so I'm still gonna give it a 7 out of 10 for features, but do keep in mind that these are not the features which you find in most other ROMs. Now the battery life. Now battery life on this one was weird for me. I personally did not get a very good battery life. I've had constant drains all over the place, so that's something there. This one is showing something else right now. The active drain for me was about 20-22%, and idle drain was very high at about 3%, which is one of the worst I've gotten with any ROM. But again, this is Oreo, this is homemade, so you do understand what that means, and you do need to take that risk. People were on the forums raging about the battery life with this ROM. I personally did not see it, but that might be just my case. You might have to check for yourself. But for me, battery life was not great. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. Now the performance. Again, the performance was not very spectacular. Now, I have had crashes with Antutu benchmark, which is not normal. But after the crash, I did run the benchmark again, and I got about 101,000, which is one of the lowest scores which I've received. But I did run previously one more time, and I got about 132,000, which is a normal score. Now I cannot use this one because the phone was hot because of the crash. I was running the benchmark, so I'm not going to use this one. I'm gonna stay with the 132,000 which I got. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10 just because it worked, but it did crash one time. But again, it is a beta ROM, that can be expected, so I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10 for performance. And apart from that, using the ROM, I didn't have any issues. I have been using this for quite some time, and it works as expected, so that's pretty cool. Now the stability of the ROM. Apart from the Antutu benchmarks crashing, I did not have any issue with this ROM yet. Now with Validas, while I was testing, I did have issue where it restarted, it got stuck. I couldn't do anything with that. I didn't have that issue with this. I've been using this for 2 days. It all worked perfectly, at least for now, and I really like that. So I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. The only reason it's not getting higher score is because application crashed. Kind of a problem, so yeah. Now the camera. This one comes with a standard camera application. It works out really well. Nothing special going on. It works, it takes photographs, that's okay. Now I've been using Gcam, and that also works pretty well. It does have HDR, it does have motion capture, but I haven't been able to take motion capture. One thing else which I noticed is that when you take a photograph in Gcam, it takes the photograph, and if you swipe or if you open up the picture viewer, this one fades to black. Not really sure why that is. It is probably because it is processing the HDR plus. I have put it too high, so yeah, that is one thing, so don't be alarmed. It has taken the photo, but it has not yet processed it. It also has 60 FPS mode and also 30 FPS mode. I'm using the version 6 if you're wondering, so it works out really well. For camera, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10 because the stock camera is nothing special. It does support Gcam, so I'm happy about that. Now comes the aesthetics of the ROM. The aesthetics are pretty normal. It does have substrate and a little bit of OMS support, so that is working correctly. You don't have to worry about that. Also, it does have its own dark mode and a pixel and stock layout. But honestly, I just like the Oreo layout a little bit better because it is fresh. After some time I will change my mind, but as of now I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10 for aesthetics. Now the overall experience. The overall experience has generally been pretty good. I did not have much issues with this. The only thing because of which this ROM is not for me is VLD support. This does not have ULD support as of yet. It does work on encrypted devices, so you don't have to worry about flashing it. But for VLD devices, you might want to look elsewhere. VLD is not working. I was not able to make any calls in the 2 days I've been using it, and that has been a nightmare. I cannot use this anymore, so that's the reason you see this video. So yeah, that's the only reason I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10, because rest everything I would pitch this against Validus as a viable alternative if you want to use Oreo. So that's one thing. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10 for overall experience. Let me show you guys the boot animation, which is pretty cool. Now it does have that, so that's no big deal. So here is the boot animation for Oreo Omni, which is pretty cool. It shows an Oreo biscuit with an Omni logo. Very nice. So guys, there you have it. That is the ROM, which is Omni ROM. It's still in beta, so you do need to expect a little bit of bugs here and there. The time I've been using it, it has been pretty stable. I didn't have much issues with that. It all works out really well. So yeah, it is something which I can recommend for people who can use this. But again, as I did with Validus, do not use this if you don't know how to get around stuff. So that is something which you need to keep in mind. Battle Life is not really good, no, at least for me. People were on the forum which were raving about the Battle Life. I don't know how or why, but that is something which I did notice. The final score is going to be about 6 out of 10, which may seem like a low score, but it is a beta ROM and you need to keep that in mind. So that is the score which is the mathematically correct score from the average score which I gave it. So yeah, that is one thing. So yeah, hope you guys like the video. Please share, subscribe and like the video if you found it useful. See you guys next time. Bye.